Hey everyone, it is Susan here. I just wanted to pop on and relax and do some watercoloring with all of you and just relax. Can you tell it's December? It's like go, 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 go. And it's like, oh my gosh, all right, I just have to like relax. So let me tell you what this is all about. And then there is some I want to add a little bit to it, I think, although now that I'm looking at it, I'm not 100% sure. But so I watch and I even pay for classes from a YouTuber named Angela Fair, Fehr, Angela Fair. And she does what she calls loose watercoloring. So more on the abstract side. But just amazing. I just like, she can just like throw color on a paper and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. So this paper is actually the opposite side of, I don't know, some other painting that I did that I didn't like. So there is a painting on the other side of this paper. I put it down with masking tape because, well, it's just a single piece of paper. And, she's teaching and doing some videos on just how, like, to learn your mark making. I'm like, well, I don't even have mark making. So I need to get some. So, like, I pulled out these different brushes and even a palette knife, and yeah, so I did a few mark making pages. Let me pull them. I'm lifting them up off the floor. Sorry. So a couple of them. Well, I don't know, it was my first time ever doing mark making. So like I had like this one and this one. You see how I started pulling in lines because, well, she pulled in lines, and it was just about using different color. I think it goes this way. I don't think it really matters, but everything had something else on the back of it. So it's like the B side of the paper, just it really does help a lot to understand color and how water like the colors react to one another. So this is another page that I did this one in this particular little book that I have. It's the pages are 7 by 10. I absolutely love this. I did it this way and I loved it. I think this one is done, and I think this one's going to come out of here, and I'm just going to put it along with the other watercolor paintings that I love. I just love it. You can't explain it. It's hard to explain. This is in a much bigger pad. So this pad I got from Tuesday Morning. This is very inexpensive paper, and this is 9 by 12. I'm going to turn this into flowers. So that might be another video, but I love it. I love it. I love it. And as I was doing it, I'm like, okay, I see flowers on here. So that's what I'm going to do. But that's another video. Okay, so this one, I started out with all the color on the background. So I had a couple greens, I had red, I pulled in a little bit of blue, I have gold metallic, just really pretty. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it is calling for a poinsettia. I had to paint a poinsettia on it. So that's how the poinsettia got on it. So I did that last night, but what I was thinking that I wanted to come in and do was darken up, and give some more depth to the flower. But you know what? I'm not going to, and I'm going to tell you why. So let me first pull off the masking tape, and we're going to actually work on this together, this one right here. But let me tell you why, but I want to show you, so I want to lift it up. I think I really like this the way it is. And, you know, you can definitely very easily overwork something. Now, if this was still wet and I didn't, if I hadn't already splattered on it, so you can see all the gold splatter, if I hadn't already done that, I would probably go ahead and add some more dimension. If it was wet, I would definitely do it. But as you can see, so there is the transparency to the paint, and with so much going on underneath the flower, I feel like that gives it plenty of depth and interest. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave this as is, and I have to tell you, I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you guys tell me. I'm just learning this stuff, so I'm like, well, I like it. And trust me, I don't like everything I do. That is for sure. Now, this little piece of paper, there's nothing on the back of it, but I obviously cut it down from some bigger book. Let me go ahead and get a little bit, I don't know if I can, reuse this masking tape, but I will try. And I was also thinking of putting a poinsettia on this as well. So, see, what I have to do is I want to get something, like I was thinking of, you know how, like when you're working in a kitchen, a cutting mat, you know how they have, like even in the dollar stores, I think they have the plastic cutting mats. I think I need to get some of those because when I tape something down to my desk, I can't move it, right? And I want to be able to move it. So this is just a piece of, you know, of garbage, really. This was, you know, a pad that I had used. So I'm going to put it on here, and then this way at least I'll be able to pick it up. And the reason for putting masking tape on is to so that it doesn't buckle up as you're putting a lot of watercolor onto it. So that's the scoop. So if any of you know of a good place to get, like I want to use it over and over again. So I'm looking for, like I said, you know, something that I can use my masking tape to get my loose watercolor paper, and tape it down with my masking tape. So it will get paint on it. So, you know, I want to be able to wipe the paint off, but I want to be able to reuse it, because what happens is when I use like cardboard like this and I pick up the masking tape, it is removing some of the packaging. Although this one might not, only because this is the second time I'm using this masking tape, so it's not as sticky. I have also used like washi tape that doesn't have a lot of stickiness to it. So, but anyway, so that's the scoop. That's the scoop. So I'm just gonna look at my brushes and let me see what size I would like to use for this poinsettia. I think I'm going to use that, which happens to be a size 6. So let me start with that. And I do have this, I forget what this is called, but the way that this splatters is amazing. I'll try to show you when I'm done here. Uh, I'm like, how did I ever splatter before without this really, really, really long bristled paintbrush? I don't know. But I do have my Daniel Smith watercolor paints. I have my water in my beautiful blue color ball jars, right? Oh, I have my coffee and I just made it, so I'm going to be stopping to drink my coffee in this video. Like I said, this is a very relaxed video. And yeah, and I have my paper towel, and we're going to go ahead and get moving here. So I'm just going to go in and let me see, how can I do this to where you can see what I'm doing. I think this setup tends to work because I want you to see. So let's try that. Let's try that. Okay. So you'll see I put quite a bit of water on here to really get it going. And my brush is nice and filled with paint. I do want to make sure that it's not going to drip all over, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's like drippy wet. And then I'm just going to paint a poinsettia on here. What I have learned about painting a poinsettia, and trust me, it took me a while to figure this out. So don't think that everybody knows this, because not everybody does. But nobody mentions this in the videos that I have watched. And that is, for a poinsettia, both ends of the leaves need to be very pointy. So if they are not pointy, you need to make them pointy. Otherwise, it doesn't look like a poinsettia leaf. I did multiple tests, and I'm like, why can't I could not figure it out. I'm like, why can't I do a poinsettia leaf? And then I watched this one YouTube video, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's why. Just the way she was doing it, it was like, okay, all right, I get it now. I get it now. Because what I was doing was not so much on the outside, but you see how just by adding that, so see, this is not pointy. I'm going to make it pointy, and it just makes all the difference. And so that's what I was doing on the inside. It was very rounded. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not good. That's not good. So, okay, so we have that. All right, I'm going to keep going. So what I do is then I do another layer of, or another row of red. But what I want to do too, and I should probably do it now, well, let me do these real quick. I'm going to do these real quick. So if I'm too quiet, just, I hope that's okay. Make it nice and pointy. All right. I'm telling you, the point makes a difference. I don't understand it, but it just does. All right, so while this color is still wet, I'm going to come in with a much, it's almost a purplish, deeper color, and I'm just going to put in a little bit of this color. And it's super, super pretty. So I'm just going to kind of do this and let it do its thing, because we know how beautiful watercolor looks when you just kind of let it do its thing. And it makes a difference that it's, you know, wet on wet. And yep. All right, so that's going to give this one just a little extra dimension. I'm going to come in with just a little bit of water just to get this to move around a little bit more. Whoops. A little bit too much water there. All right. See, that's what they say, you know, don't try to fix something because you're going to mess it up, just like I just did, but that's okay. I'm going to leave it. It'll dry and it'll be perfect. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, let me swap my palette around and let's go to the green. And I'm going to put the green down. That will be my next color. So let's see. I'm going to actually mix a couple of different greens together. And let's go ahead and get some green leaves down. So as you all know, I'm sure you know this, that even the red, what we call a flower, is actually a leaf that turned red. So they are all leaves of this particular flower. So you want to make sure that these are also the right shape. You don't want to do, I don't know, I don't want it to be too symmetrical, and I'm feeling that right now it's very symmetrical, so I'm going to have to do something to fix that. But I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do, you know, just get another leaf out here. And I think I'm going to put a longer leaf over here, just so that it doesn't look so neat and even. Keep my points, even with the green, keeping the points. Okay, I like that. I think I'm going to put one more over here. Okay, and then a little bit over here. And then I'm going to show you how amazing that splatter brush, it's not a splatter brush, I shouldn't call it that. That was the wrong thing to say. How that brush, this one, the long one, it splatters beautifully. And I'm going to do it while there is some paint still wet on here. You know, I'm really liking these long leaves, so I'm going to add some more. And I think I'm going to put one over here. And then I'm going to splatter. And you'll notice I have darker shades of green, lighter shades of green, and I love it all. All right, before I get carried away, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop with the leaves. You can just go and go and go and go and go, but I like that. Okay, good. So now I'm going to show you how amazing this splatters. And I want it on the wet because, well, it just kind of blends together and does amazing stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get my gold, my favorite gold. I have apparently two favorites, this one and this one. They're all Daniel Smith. But I guess I tend to use these most often. And I'm going to get that moving. It's very wet. It's very wet. I mean, it's like a lake in there. Now watch this. I'm going to hold it up. All right. I don't know that it did it. It makes like a long line of splatter. Ah, is it doing it? I don't even... Oh, it just did it. Like oh, like right here. I hope you could see it. It does like a long line of splatter. It's really very cool. It's almost like I'm throwing paint onto it. Can you see it? Let me see. Can you see it right here? There's another line. There's lines over here. There's like lines all over. It just kind of, it literally makes it look like you're throwing, paint onto it. Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to do to this is I want to pull in some yellow into the middle, right? Because the middle of these flowers are yellow. So I'm going to try to dry this, but I'm also going to pull some up. Now what it's going to do is it's going to give it a different look. I might have to splatter over there just one more time. But when you lift up watercolor paint like that, you're going to see it almost looks splotchy, for a better word. Splotchy, yeah. I mean, the only paint I care about right now being dry is in the middle right there, because when I put my yellow down, I don't want that to blend. I want it to stay yellow. So I'm going to go in with the same size brush that I used on the flower. And I'm just going to pull up some yellow. I do want to make sure it's not too wet. And I'm going to go ahead and get my yellow in the middle. All right, just like that. And it is done. This is done. This is absolutely done. Look at how beautiful. See, it's just, look at all that glitter, not glitter, the shimmer, the iridescence. Oh, it's just beautiful. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just love it. I just love it. So when the yellow dries, it will be a little bit lighter, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave it taped on here, let it dry, and I love it. I'm thinking of maybe doing a giveaway of something like this where it's not too big and would be easy to mail out. I end up with a lot of different paintings, so I don't know that I need them all. But anyway, if I do decide to do a giveaway, I will, let you all know. All right, well, let me know if you have questions about watercolor. I would love to have you be a subscriber if you would like to, if you're interested in watercoloring. I'm just learning. I've just been doing this for, I don't know how many months now, 3? I don't know. So I'm just learning, and I'm learning how amazing they are. They have a life of their own, and I'm learning that. And I never really knew that before. So very, 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 very interesting. So that is it. And yeah, so let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be back.